Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again for Drunkard's Walk. Well, thanks so much for listening this week, and a big thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for our artwork. Well, this is it, folks. We've reached the final episode of Season 11. And boy, it has been quite a ride. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. And if you have, please give us a rating or review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Reviews would be great. Our last review is from 3 years ago. I would love to have one that is more current. Ideally a positive one, but you got to tell the truth. You got to say what you think. So go ahead and click on that thing. Give us that rating. Give us that review. Check out our link tree. Get all the links you need, including the link to give us suggestions for next season. If you do that now, then you're almost guaranteed to get on that season because we don't have enough to fill up the season yet. So there you go. Good times for everybody. Well, again, I really hope that you've enjoyed the season. We have certainly enjoyed doing it, and I really hope you enjoy this final episode of Season 11. Take care. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Drunkard's Walk, the podcast. It's me, Matt Hartman, one of the hosts of Drunkard's Walk, and if you've listened before, you already knew that. And what you also already know is that I don't do this alone. I have Jethro Nolan with me the whole time. Hi, Jethro.
Hello, Matt. I'm glad that once again you've introduced me because every other week I'm like, is he going to do it? Or is this the one where he just goes rogue and does the show by himself?
I've thought about it. And thank you for reading that cue card that I gave you at the beginning there. It didn't sound red, but it sounded very natural.
Pleasure.
Good.
To do
okay.
so.
There we go. Yes. Awesome. Jethro, this is super exciting, man. We are at our final episode of Season 11. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe we've done 11 seasons of this, although the season is really an arbitrary measure. We just decide like, hey, that's a season.
Yeah.
There's nobody telling us.
It's 15 episodes. I mean, give or take.
But
15
but why 15? Like,
it's more than 10 and less than 20, I suppose.
Is 15 just when we were like, that's enough? We're tired.
So. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it on the first season, and then we were like, well, we've set a precedent, right?
Did you just say a president?
A president. I've set a president.
I think precedent is the word.
That's the only president I'm aware of.
Zing.
Yikes. I set a precedent, and we stuck with it. Here we are, 11 seasons later, 5 years-ish later. We started this almost 5 years ago. Can you believe that?
I can believe that. It's been a long 5 years.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, I don't mean not because of you, Matt. You're a delightful oasis in the middle of the desert that is my life.
Wow.
It's the rest of the stuff happening outside of the podcast that has lengthened the years.
Wow, that was so poetic. I love that. I love that image that you've created of the desert of your life. It makes me sad, but I really like it. It's good imagery.
You are a lagoon of possibility in the Sahara of existence.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Thanks for making me have all the feels. Because I mean, final episodes, you know how it is. It's the end of something. It's you start to feel nostalgic for the beginning of the season. Remember back at the beginning of season 11 when we went to Unit 8200. Remember that?
Oh yeah, we totally went to Unit 8200. There's also the anxiety of will we get picked up for the next season? Will they recast the show?
That's possible. Yeah.
But we didn't just go to Unit 8200, right?
No,
we've been to a number of places.
Sure.
We've been to the campaign for North Africa, the game, which, by the way, not linked in any way from the Wikipedia page about the actual North African campaign. Yeah. Which that was a fun discovery that we survived.
It sure was.
That was particularly long. I think our Wikipedia episode on that one lasted longer than the actual campaign for North Africa, both the game and
no, certainly not the game. I mean, the game lasts for like years. It lasts longer than the actual campaign. That is for sure.
Speaking of years, we learned about the year 2038 problem, which is thankfully a thing we have to worry about that I didn't know we previously had to worry about it. So there's that.
It's interesting that we've had a lot of numbers this season. Unit 8200, the year 2038 problem, Dimension 20. Remember that? Dimension 20.
And my daughter gave us that one.
And Renault Formula One crash controversy. So a bunch of numbers involved in this season. Yeah. And hey, remember our live episode that we did?
How could I forget it?
Oh, amazing!
Yes, I do. I do remember it.
Yeah, I thought that you would remember it. And I'm sure the 7 people that were in the audience remember it as well. They were really excited about.
I feel like it's one of those Velvet Goldmine moments where there's an old line. I think it's a Brian Eno quote about the Velvet Goldmine only sold 4,000 records, but every single one who bought that record started a band. I feel like everybody who is there is going to start their own spin-off podcast.
Well, Rick already has one. He has already got his own podcast, so he's ahead of the curve on that. But you could be right. I hope that Dave Foreman starts his own podcast. I'd love to hear him talk every week. But
absolutely,
because we haven't had him on other than that episode. He hasn't been on this season. But you know what, Jethro? The thing that has been the through line of this season.
Has there been a through line?
I think so. If you've been paying attention, you may have noticed that almost every guest we have, Rick Seaback excluded, Maddie Nolan excluded, every new guest we had, somebody we had never met before, that came onto our podcast this season, found us in a very particular way. Do you know what that was?
Yes, because they said it every week. They found us because we were lucky enough to be guests on Escape This podcast. And I tell you what, the fact that we were on that podcast and we now have so many new wonderful listeners, I just wish I could thank the people from Escape This podcast who were kind enough to have us on their podcast and tell them the difference they've made in our lives.
Well, Jethro, do you recognize this voice?
Hello, it's me. I'm a person from a show, and I'm here as a guest. How are you going?
No, I don't recognize that voice, Matt. Not at all.
What? You never heard me? Oh, that's embarrassing for you.
Sir, are you all right? You sound like you are in distress.
No, this is just how I talk when I'm relaxed.
And what do you mean, sir?
Sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Apologies if I misgendered you.
There's at least 2 of us of unspecified gender at this point.
All right. Yeah. No, faux pas on my part for making assumptions.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, Matt, you've given me a bit of a curveball because those voices don't sound familiar to me at all.
No, you don't remember these two? We've spoken to them before. Maybe you'll remember when they said something like this.
Nope, still not helpful. Sorry, it's definitely still me.
Wow, that's this is our fault for putting the Zoom invite for this podcast episode up at a bus station and just hoping the right people would see it. We're clearly getting a lot of
hold on. Would it help if I do my radio voice that I put on when I'm doing podcasts? I would speak in my natural way, but I could put on the voice.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Yeah, put on the voice.
Hey, this is Bill. I'm from Escape This podcast. And
I'm
back. And here's Danny. Danny's also here. Danny, use your radio voice.
Oh, right. Sorry, I completely forgot. We were just getting so caught up in all the nostalgia. I feel like we're interrupting here. You haven't even started crying yet.
No,
wow.
I'm crying on the inside all the time. That's my secret.
There we go. That's why you're an oasis, because of the moisture from your tears.
Correct.
Well, Bill and Danny, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming on and for having us.
We're excited to be back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Also,
that's great.
never use your non-radio voice again. That was horrifying. That was
that's my father's voice. He gave it to me.
Gosh,
I would sue if I were in your shoes, but that's
it reminded me much of like various Muppets or Sesame Street characters. I can't.
It's got that vibe.
Can't necessarily pick which one, but one of them, perhaps a new original creation. It is so great to have you two on here. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for having us on your podcast and giving us an amazing listener base. It's fantastic. All these people love you. And because they love you, they trusted you enough to think that they could enjoy us. And so I guess joke's on them, but well done.
Clearly, they must have found something that they enjoyed, and you're right, or they wouldn't stick around.
Yeah, I hope that is the case. But we're
well done. You're putting out a good product here.
Oh, thank you. Well, and you are as well. Obviously, your show gets listeners leaps and bounds ahead of ours, but that's okay because we enjoy listening to it, and we enjoy all of the people that listen to our show. So, we just can't thank you enough, and so we had to have you back on to be our guest on the final episode of the season. Now, unfortunately, one of the problems with being a guest on the final episode of the season, we don't normally have a guest at all on the final episode of the season because we already know what our destination is going to be, and that's what our guests usually provide. So instead of providing us a destination, a couple seasons ago, you were on and you actually did the walk with us. Would you be willing to do that again?
I fundamentally don't understand anybody who's coming on the show who doesn't want to do the walk. Why would you talk the talk when you can walk the walk?
Now, I know once we came on and we didn't do the walk, but that had nothing to do with lack of desire to. That was scheduling availability.
Exactly.
And it was the greatest mistake we've ever made in our lives.
Wow. Well, good for you. That's a fairly minor mistake.
That is.
Hey, but things are going pretty well.
Now's your chance to make up for it by walking with us through this little journey that we have ahead of us here for our final one of the season. If you're willing and you've got the time.
I'm looking at the clock.
You're looking at your arm. Yeah.
Where I used to have a watch 15 years ago. Let me just, I think I've got the time.
Is your skin and the aging of it your new clock? Like you're just waiting for wrinkles to appear?
And I go, well, I've got about maybe 30, 40 years left. All right, we'll see how it goes.
You've triggered something deep in me, and that I'm sure by osmosis will trigger Bill, because very frequently, at least once a week, I say, God, look at my hands.
I have old hands.
They did not used to look like this.
Yeah, we dry out from the extremities and work our way inwards. It's a sad state of affairs.
I don't get it. Just the other day, I looked at my hand, like the backs of my hands, not so bad, but the palms and like the fingers, like there are wrinkles on there that I remember seeing on my father's hands. And I thought, oh, my hands will never they don't look like that. And now I look at them and I'm like, oh, good Lord. They look like trees. They look like trees.
I wouldn't call them wrinkles yet, but they're definitely like getting to pre-wrinkles. There's lots of lines that didn't used to be noticeable.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm disturbed by it too. So let's tell you what. I know exactly how we can put this out of our minds and not worry about what our hands look like. And that is to take a wonderful walk through Wikipedia. All right?
That's it.
And today we're going to be starting at the Thagomizer.
Oh, I've heard of that. What is that?
The Thagomizer. Now, I haven't listened to your Thagomizer episode. I want to try and
it hasn't been released yet, actually, when we're recording now. So,
well, lovely. This Thagomizer is a Far Side reference, isn't it? It's a tool for a caveman as created by the Far Side.
You're close.
You're close.
No,
it was a name given.
No, it's something they find as an archaeologist finds one, calls it the Thagomizer.
That's not the Stegosaurus thing.
It is the Stegosaurus thing. Yes.
That's it. Oh.
Yes.
You're right.
You got it.
Good work.
You nailed it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So the Thagomizer is the end, like the pointy part of the tail of the Stegosaurus. And it was a word created by Gary Larson for the Far Side comic that he created, and then picked up by science and used now by scientists to describe this part of the Stegosaurus.
It's amazing when you have that sort of power.
Yes.
I think also, though, people often get shocked at stories like this, and they come up a lot. And I think people forget, because they think the scientists are different from normal people.
Right.
And they think scientists are very but scientists are all big, dumb nerds.
Yes.
And so they love stuff like, if you're a scientist and you can find a chance to be like, well, why don't I name this something silly? Then you do, because why wouldn't you?
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Sonic and Pikachu named viruses.
Some people are all... maybe one day a piece of genetic splicing technology will be named after me. Or Cloud. I love Cloud.
Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. He's a cool guy. He might have been genetically spliced.
Well, it's just like email spam. Got that name because of a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah.
And the computer nerds were like, yeah, we like Monty Python. Let's memorialize it. So.
Yep. That's it. So I have actually gone, I got another copy of the Prehistory of the Far Side out, of the library, and I started rereading it because as I was telling Jethro last week, I used to have a copy of it, but I had it when I was a kid. So all I did was read through the comics part of it. And if you don't know this book, it is essentially Gary Larson went through and like explained what he was thinking when he was writing certain comics. Like he gives an actual history of how he became a cartoonist. And it's a really fascinating, fun book to read that I'm really enjoying the heck out of. So everyone should go and read that book. So that's where we're going to start. Our destination tonight is monster cereals. So
monster cereal.
Yeah. So now the question becomes: do monster cereals exist in Australia?
I'm gonna have a big old gamble and say no.
No, I'm gonna say I've never heard of it. Unless is that all this? Is that like is Count Chocula?
Yeah.
Ding ding ding
of
ding.
monsters. Okay, then yes, we don't have that.
Okay, so it's a broad category
It's
of
like
cereals.
So
Danny, hold on.
Frankenberry, Fruit Brute,
Okay.
Count
Blueberry.
Chocula. Yeah.
Yep.
Cereal
Mummy.
is one of these venues where, like, there's a lot of crossover in what gets to Australia and what goes on in America. We get, a lot of TV and that sort of things, but there are some venues where it just doesn't happen.
Right.
One of them is children's books, because most of our children's literature ends up coming from the more British side or homegrown. But cereal, of all foods, lots of foods, but cereal in particular is a big one where even the ones that we have in common, we've all got different names for them. But you guys have a variety that we can't even dream of.
It's true. It's definitely true. And yeah, these are all ones named after these, spooky characters. They used to be available all the time. Now they are a seasonal thing. For a while, they were gone completely. And now they come out
on Valentine's Day.
Exactly. They come out of Valentine's Day, stay until St. Patrick's Day, and then that's the end of the story for them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, obviously a Halloween type of deal. I had some this past Halloween because I wanted to introduce my child to the wonders of Count Chocula and Frankenberry. And of course she loved them because they're packed with sugar and marshmallows and all sorts of things like that. But
we live in a golden age of ways of giving yourself type 2 diabetes. There's never been a more sacred time on this planet if you want to find a new way to get type 2 diabetes.
So that's going to be our journey, and not knowing about them may make it a little bit tougher for you, or maybe it'll make it a little easier. You won't have preconceived notions or ideas. We have been there before. This topic was our starting point for the season. That's why we're going back to it. And it was also one of our destinations back in season 1. So we've been there, but it was a long time ago. We certainly aren't going to have any memory of how we got there. And we certainly didn't get there from Thagomizer. So that's going to be our challenge. So before we start the walk, we always do a little housekeeping stuff here. One of the things we do is we talk about what we are drinking. Now, for you, in Australia right now, for us, it's like 8:30 at night. For you, I'm guessing it's like noon-ish, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Yeah, tomorrow, of course, because
that's true.
In the future,
you're ahead of us. So I'm not no judgment at all for anybody, but I'm gonna guess you're not having a drink. Is that correct?
I will say, if you wanted to guess about an alcoholic drink, time is irrelevant. I haven't had an alcoholic drink since
the champagne at a friend's wedding.
Or a
10 years
polite
ago.
Plum wine at a Japanese homestay experience. So I was like, I'll just have a sip.
Plum wine. There you go.
So I am drinking a cup of tea.
Nice.
And that would be also what I would be drinking at 9 p.m. So
there we go. So it fits
with a cup of tea.
Consistent. Danny, how about you? Anything
I am
else?
a mix of water from my water bottle and Larry's oral throat spray, which helps my sore throats when my reflux is acting up. Because I'm a grown-up.
Nice. I love it. Does it have that fresh minty taste, or is it like a cherry thing?
Oh, absolutely not. It is. Try some. What flavor is this?
No, I don't want to spray my throat with this gross stuff.
Medicine flavor. Ooh.
Medicine. Poison.
That probably tastes closer to any alcohol that I'm drinking.
It's pure numbing feeling.
There you go.
Whatever that flavor is.
Sounds about right. Well, Jethro, how about you? Are you having a drink this evening or no?
I am. I'm at the opposite end of the sobriety spectrum. I started drinking at 8 a.m. It was a hard day of living. No, I'm having in my drunkard's walk etched glass. I am having a Bullet bourbon, which is a frontier whiskey, I'm told, by the branding. Although I suspect it is no longer a frontier whiskey because it is made in Kentucky, which is, to the best of my knowledge, not the frontier anymore.
No,
kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. If a frontier whiskey, I guess, would be like made in, Kauai or something. Something very, very far west.
Yeah, maybe.
What about you, sir? Are you having a beverage?
I am actually, because it's our final episode of the season. I decided to pour something a little nicer, a little classier. So I'm having a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. This comes in at 127.6 proof, which means it is 63.8% alcohol.
Wow,
that's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. So I'm making up for everybody here.
I just got a bottle of medical grade ethanol. It's 99.5%. I'm just chugging away.
That's essentially it.
Bill and Danny, you may have to finish the episode on your own.
That is certainly a possibility.
Here's my thought: when you have a drink, and it's aged in a barrel, that's great. It gives it a flavor. But yours is advertising itself as barrel proof, apparently. So I don't know. It's not been affected by the barrel at all.
No.
Doesn't matter what I was in.
Now listen. Now
I'm not
hold on.
Get
I know you haven't had a drink in a while, but
I'm barrel proof.
It's a different meaning of the same word. I don't know what that's called anymore, but it's true. Homonym. It's a homonym. No, it's a homophone. No,
it's a homonym.
It's a homonym.
So you're saying that we need some disambiguation.
Disambiguation. Gosh, I used to
brings
love
it right back to
pages.
Wikipedia. That's a pro right there.
That is.
That's a pro.
That was well walked. All right, so we're ready to go. Except Jethro, you and I have to make guesses.
We do
on how many steps it's going to take. But I offer you an alternative to that.
Okay.
So right now, just to fill Bill and Danny in on this, our score for our walks, because we keep track of like who wins each walk, who gets the closest to the number of guesses. I am currently ahead, and I'm winning 7-5. But last week was a tie, which means whoever wins this episode will get 2 points.
Yeah.
So Jethro can possibly tie, or I can win outright. All right, that's what can happen here. So here's what I'm going to suggest.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest.
Sabotage? Is it sabotage?
No, I'm going to suggest that Bill and Danny both write down numbers. And we either each pick one without knowing what number they're picking, just pick one of them, or we pick one of them at the end to see which one of them got the closest, and then they represent us.
Okay, but only one of us can pick.
Yes.
Only one of us can pick because
well, that's true. Yes, only one of us would pick. I will allow you to pick.
Okay, all right. I accept your challenge. Your challenge.
So we're going to have the two.
We pick blind. We pick blind. Yes.
Right. Absolutely. We're not going to know the numbers that they've said. Clearly. Right.
All right.
They're going to write down numbers right now that they think are the number of steps it will take. And I know you're basing this on very little knowledge. I get it, but you both have the same amount of knowledge. And I will tell you that our season average is 5.2, and our lifetime average is 5.5. So that may help you.
I've written something.
What is our standard deviation?
That I don't have. I don't have that at my fingertips.
Give me the median. Give me the mode.
I don't have any of those. I don't have. Oh, the mode. Oh God, the mode. I miss the mode. Yeah, we don't have any of that information. But there's your information. So go ahead and just write down a number. Just write down a guess, and Jethro will pick at the end which of you he's going to go with without knowing your guess.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I encourage you to not have any kind of poker face whatsoever, and to be really expressive to let me know how accurate your guess was, so that I have a much easier time picking the right one.
Yeah.
Well, let's make this easy for you. I am absolutely 100% confident in my guess.
There you go.
Well, that sounds.
I'm not.
I think that sounds on brand for me. So I'll go ahead and pick Danny now. Yeah.
Have you guys seen
unwarranted
that?
Confidence is my jam. So
have you guys seen that British? It's a talk show, I think, and they do the game where there's two people and there's boxes in front of them, and one of them has a carrot in it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God, I love that, and that's what I was kind of hoping for at the end here.
The Sean Mock John Richardson specialty.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I find that absolutely thrilling. Okay, we are ready to go then. So I'm leaving my fate up to you, to the three of you. Apparently,
what's your number?
Yeah, you guys can show each other, but don't say it out loud.
He's not done yet. What is he doing over there?
He's doing a lot of math.
He's writing a thesis.
And I do that. It's a relevant picture.
And a proof.
I
Did you
don't know
make a proof?
why,
You
but
know what is that? You know what that is?
Don't say
I know
it.
what it looks.
Why is there that on it? Why is it little?
You're gonna have to explain this to me off air because I got no idea what's happening there.
I feel like we've got our bonus content for this episode.
I know. I love it.
For you Patreon subscribers.
Yeah. If I ever edited anything out, that would be true. All right. Let's jump into it. Let's get going. Let's jump to Wikipedia and start at the Thagomizer. Is everybody there? Is everybody ready to go?
The Thagomizer is a distinctive arrangement of 4 spikes on the tails of stegosaurian dinosaurs.
There you go. So not just the Stegosaurus,
Beautiful
all
picture.
Stegosaurian dinosaurs.
Yeah. I will say, I think this is going to be a short walk, and I'll say why. Because there is something about Gary Larson and the Far Side that speaks to me of Arrested Development, immature teenage boys, that is also very much Venn diagram overlappy with, grown men who eat breakfast cereals. No offense, Matt. But it
plenty of people eat breakfast cereals, Jethro.
But the sugary ones that
whether they have cartoon characters on them or not is another.
Patton also used to have a great bit about when you're middle aged, you're supposed to have like sorghum farms and everything that's focused on colon health and whatnot, not the sugary garbage that we ate as kids.
Yeah, well, it's still amazing, so give it a try.
It is.
I can't help but notice one thing. Now, I'm looking at this on my phone, maybe assuming that everything on the phone will be identical to what you're seeing on a computer.
Probably.
A notable lack of link to the word dinosaur, which is really bugging me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't see the word dinosaur linked at all, other than in the Planet Dinosaur name of the television or documentary series.
Okay.
That's weird.
This is all right. I built some fail safes into my number.
Well, I think that Jethro is correct, though. I think Gary Larson, Farside, or comic may be paths that we want to explore. What do you think?
I've got an alternate pitch for a path.
Oh, do it.
Right.
Surely one of the options here is cavemen.
Mm-hmm.
And surely cavemen appear in some kind of B horror movie that gets us into the universal horror, the universal monsters.
You're definitely going
world.
more my sort of thing. I wanted dinosaurs because I wanted Godzilla, because as if there is no Godzilla fights Frankenstein.
Yeah, and then we're on to Frankenstein, and then we'll be like, Frankenstein, also famous for...
Check out merch.
For his cereal. Loves it.
Frankenstein, famous for being parodied in Frankenberry. Yeah.
It could be like, things that, fun facts about the Universal monsters. They've also inspired cereals like Wolf'em Down Flakes for the Wolfman. I'm assuming that's one of them.
No, that was Fruit Brute. He was the Wolfman.
Brute.
Yeah, Fruit Brute.
They really couldn't make wolves appetizing, could they?
Nope, I don't think so.
But you think the caveman is going to get us into
I
that
think
area.
caveman would be like, in the 50s, there were plenty of movies like This Caveman Stole My Wife and The Revenge of the Frozen Man. You'd be like,
I want to write a script for This Caveman Stole My Wife.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a totally valid path.
I will say, I am more inclined to think of that just because it's a field. I know slightly more about Godzilla than I do about the Far Side.
You think, okay.
But if you feel comfortable that is going to be a good route, definitely happy to follow it and see what happens.
Okay, so give us... all right.
Farside, cow tools, milk, cereal, Count Chocula.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a possibility there to go through cow tools to get to
that is
milk.
true. Yeah,
I don't mind that.
What about this? Now, given the appalling lack of a dinosaur link on the Thagomizer page,
yes,
we run the risk of there not being a cow link on the cow tools page.
That is true.
Oh man,
that's fair. It is a possibility. I do like that there's also a link to the Strigophilus larsoni.
Yeah.
Which is another, named species named after Gary Larson, just bringing up the same point that scientists love to name crazy things, fun stuff. I don't know. I could see an argument for cow tools. I can see this caveman argument. I liked comic because they are cartoon characters that are on the boxes of these cereals.
Oh, good point. There's definitely, like I said, Godzilla versus Frankenstein. We can get to that via comic anyway.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a great there's a great cartoon, the Godzilla versus Bambi, that runs before Godzilla 1985. If you've never seen that one, check it out.
Oh no! Poor
You're
Bambi.
right.
Spoiler alert! Godzilla wins.
It's very good and it's very short. You should definitely, if you've never seen it, look it up.
But on the plus side, Bambi gets to meet his mom.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's good.
All right. So I don't know. What do we think here? I feel like we've got several different options.
I'm convinced by comic.
Oh, okay. So we've got two on the side of comic.
I'll jump in on the comic train. I think that's a great link. I hadn't considered.
Bill, can we talk you into it? Comic?
Well, look, it's now 3-1, so it doesn't matter. I will say that Robert Backer, who's linked afterwards, he is the creator of Count Chocula, but we've missed that chance now, so we'll have to just go for comic.
All right, then let's go to comic. Let's see what we've got with comic here.
All right. Comics is a medium used to express ideas with images, often combined with text or other visual information.
Oh, so there you go. So comics is what it took us to, rather than just comic.
Speech Balloons has its own link here. I love it.
It does. Web comics, history of comics, European comics.
I've just clicked on the associated picture and I'm reading Little Nemo in Slumberland.
Sure. Why wouldn't you? From 1906? I mean, that's a...
That ocean smells like perfume. Just exactly, It is perfume. It is an ocean of rose water, and we're going to bathe in it, Nemo. Come with me. Did you ever bathe in rose water before, huh? Did you?
No, Mum. It's all salt where I came from. We have lots of nice fresh water, too, though.
The danger of those really old things, though, is that you're just going to run against a nugget of just incredibly naked racism. Like, I'm glad you're not a savage Hun, or something like just archaic stuff that's just going to destroy.
We've done that with some of our bonus episodes. We've gone through a 1700s joke book trying to interpret the jokes, because some of them are baffling, and some of them we just have to go, I think it's racist. I can't be sure, but I think.
It's some kind of very specific racism from 1792.
Did they hate Northern Spanish people back then?
Oh my gosh. There are so many awesome things linked on here, from comics like comic books to comic strips like, Beano and Dandy and Dennis the Menace.
There's a link to a list of Franco-Belgian comics series, which I can think of Tintin and nothing else.
Asterix?
Yeah, Asterix.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
well, I'm not a comics guy, so it's not surprising
that might just be Franco.
Why does Korean comics get its own whole subheading and no one else does?
Japanese comics has
Japanese comics?
Yeah.
Ooh, mine doesn't.
Oh, well, okay. It's underneath Origins and Traditions.
Yeah, so it's not its own subheading. It's like a subheading.
Well, Korean is really extra important, I guess.
I like that. I pointed out Dennis the Menace. I didn't realize until I moused over it. This is the Dennis the Menace from the UK, which is different than the Dennis the Menace from the United States.
The real Beano guy.
Yeah.
The best one.
There's Will Eisner.
I had British Dennis the Menace when I was young. I had a copy of a Beano comic.
Wait, how is British Dennis the Menace different?
Oh, look at him.
First of all,
it's
mouse
a
over him.
completely
Totally
different.
Completely different guy. Yeah. He's a real menace. Not like Dennis the Menace from
He's
America.
He's not a widow wascal.
He's just a widow wascal. Dennis the Menace is a menace. He breaks stuff. His dog bites people.
His dog has human teeth.
His dog has big human teeth and it bites people.
Wow.
Yeah, he's called Gnasher, right? Or something?
Gnasher.
Yeah, Gnasher. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's always eating frankenberries. That's his thing.
He loves eating frankenberries, yeah. But we shouldn't go there.
That's his catchphrase.
It'd be too easy.
Give me more frankenberries. I'm surprised that I don't see a link here to use of comics in advertising or something, or have I just not?
I don't see that yet either. I was looking for advertising in some way or another, but I still haven't seen it, which is unfortunate because it means that this has been a bad path, which honestly, Jethro, we should have known. I always pick the wrong path. So I don't know why you even listen to me. I
just wanted to embarrass you in front of Bill and Danny by following your terrible instincts.
Oh.
When really my heart is already on the caveman page.
How about, there's a link here for uncountable noun.
What the hell does that mean?
A mass noun or uncountable noun. A noun with this... syntactic property that any quantity of it is treated as an undifferentiated unit rather than as something with discrete elements, like Frankenberry.
Yeah.
Like cereal.
Yeah. You never hear about cereals.
Interesting.
You know, it's like, I have one cereal here in my bowl. No, you don't. You have a single piece of cereal.
It would be a big old gamble.
It would be.
And yet, the idea of it linking us to food isn't terrible, because there'll be a lot of food that does that.
That is true.
Ooh.
It is a good point. I just brought it up because I thought it was so fascinating, but it might actually be a path.
You're grasping at straws, wild.
I am grasping at wild straws.
I need to get out of Godzilla. We don't actually need Godzilla.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so obsessed with finding Godzilla.
Godzilla was the character who fought everyone. It made sense in my head.
But there's no Godzilla versus Count Chocula.
You say that, but...
Not yet.
How sure
Are you
can
listening,
you be?
Hollywood?
Is there anything under the in our famous purple boxes at the bottom that would help? I see based on films. That might be a thing. Or is there monsters just in general down here at the bottom anywhere? I don't see anything yet. But...
I mean, the only monster I've seen is the British Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, he's a monster in a different way. Not the type that we have to worry about coming and spooking us in the middle of the night. The Cartoon Museum is on here. The Toonseum is on here. Jethro, the Toonseum.
Very nice.
A previously Pittsburgh-based museum of cartoons.
There is a link, of course, to the famed Tijuana Bible, which is apparently they were palm-sized erotic comics produced in the United States from the 1920s to the 1960s. They seem like a precursor to the Jack Chick tracts.
I see science fiction on here as well as supervillain, so that might get us into some sort of monstery type of thing.
I see a link to talking animals, and if there aren't talking animals on breakfast cereals, then I don't know where they are.
I have a link to the concept of lowbrow.
Yes, but on the page.
Now,
we're worried about on the page.
Here's the question. Are cereals highbrow or lowbrow?
I would think lowbrow.
But not lowbrow humor.
Such as cereals.
Right?
I don't think that cereals are a prototypical lowbrow example.
No.
But if you're like, ooh, there's the third Earl of Shropshire, he's not eating cereal, right?
I like your talking animal idea. That actually is something that I could probably go with. I mean, I could also do uncountable noun if we wanted to take a huge swing.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a gamble. At least has structure and chance around it. That's your uncountable nouns thing is just like digging a random patch of dirt, thinking like maybe a pirate buried treasure here.
No. I'll give you a wilder swing. Sunday strips is on here. Referring to Sunday comic strips, like the colored ones that are in the Sunday publication of the newspaper, right?
Your Prince Valiants.
So one would read those on Sunday morning while they eat their cereal.
That's
what I'm saying. So that's an even wilder swing than uncountable nouns. I feel
it is very difficult trying to go through generic nouns because, as we've seen, sometimes the generic noun they consider. That goes without saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You are all fools.
We got to gasp.
You're all fools.
Yeah.
We're fools.
How dare you, sir?
We are back to Universal monster movies.
Yes.
I have found a link to the horror genre. Oh no, wait, it's horror comics.
That's okay. It might still work.
But it is horror. But that is I do apologize. It is specifically horror comics. It did just say the word horror, and I thought maybe we just get horror as a...
Who's the fool now then?
Well, I mean, depending on your editing, it could be nobody or me.
It's very generous to assume we have any editing of any kind.
It is.
Yeah.
Again,
so
surely. Like, do we really think that there are no horror comics involving one of these characters?
It depends how many steps we're looking for. Horror comics.
That's the trigger.
What about mask? What about popular culture?
Just general popular culture.
Oh, wait a minute. I found a link to things. Cereal is a thing.
I guess my concern with going through the monster route is, I don't remember this for certain, but Jethro, I mean, refresh my memory if you remember. Did we try to go through monsters and we found it a very difficult path and we had to wind up going through a food Is that something that occurred, or am I misremembering things?
That sounds utterly plausible, but I have no solid memory other than
this
you've
feels
totally
very pertinent to the situation.
It does. And had I gone back and listened to that episode, I would have felt I was cheating. So that's why I didn't do that.
Exactly. We have nothing but the highest standards on this podcast.
Yeah, we need to find our way.
I'm gonna re-up my pitch for talking animals, because I feel like there's a big overlap between talking animals and promoters of breakfast cereals. You got your Trix rabbit, you got your Tony the tiger.
Sure.
You've got probably a third one.
But do we think that page is just going to have examples, like a whole bunch of examples to go through, or would they just have, see a list of talking mascot animals and things like that, which that would be a real pain.
I can't say that it's going to have Frankenberry on there. I feel like Frankenberry.
He's not an animal. He's a man.
Listen, we're all animals. Get used to it.
Okay.
I don't know what sort of creation is. All right. What do you like? If not talking animals, what's your pitch? What do you like?
I feel very strongly that there must be Frankenstein comics out there if we look at horror comics.
Horror comics?
Surely.
All right, you know what?
Granted, I don't know how easy it is to go from Frankenstein to Frankenberry, but surely it's not bad.
You would think it wouldn't be too terrible. And look, here's the thing. I definitely, we came to someplace I wanted to go. I would like to, Jethro, kind of defer to our guests here, because they're offering a perspective that we don't have. And I feel like maybe it's a better perspective.
I have no desire to defer to them automatically to be polite. That's not my bag. I feel like we should argue vociferously, and whoever gets exhausted last wins. But Bill, you've got an idea. What is it?
How much cereal is depicted in the Bayou Tapestry? Because there's a link to the Bayou Tapestry as an early form of 11th century comic.
Famous one-panel comic, the Bayou Tapestry.
Yeah. One big panel. My only thought, I don't mind going to horror comics. I get Danny's thought. I also wonder, what are the chances that there was, like, in France, you could get, like, Tintin cereal? What if you just click on a random comic character and he was a cereal mascot?
If we're going to go that sort of randomness, then I would find the words United States of America on here and try to find their food section. Because cereal might be mentioned there.
That is geographic and that is forbidden.
Well, yeah. So what I would say is, if we wanted to go that path, I would pick, I've seen Superman linked a number of times, and there is no doubt that there was a Superman cereal.
Got to be some super cereal, right?
Like, for sure.
Eat these little bits of kryptonite and you'll die.
Yeah, so Batman cereal, Superman cereal, these things definitely exist.
So which do you think is which do you think is more likely? Like, my worry is that you can get to that. You can click Superman. You can even find a reference to Superman cereal on there, and it still won't let you click the word cereal.
That'd be wild.
Really?
But it is possible,
after our dinosaur problem?
We've definitely had that type of thing happen, and it's super frustrating.
I don't trust anything anymore.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But if there is a Frankenstein comic book, it's going to let us click Frankenstein.
It is, but is Frankenstein then going to get us into Frankenberry? Now becomes the new question that we will have to deal with. Right.
And that is one jump further.
See, and that's ultimately why I think talking animals is the stronger path, because we're going to get into commercial uses of talking animals as pitchmen, which is going to get us more directly to cereal.
I've been certainly swayed. I think Tony the Tiger specifically says they're great.
He does.
And that might get us somewhere.
Okay. If you're sure.
Danny, this is great, because it means if we're wrong, we get to blame Jethro, not us.
Yeah, you're right.
Our beautiful reputation of best drunken walkers in the world is untarnished.
I'm on a hazy image of glory right now of what I would do if we clicked on mine and it was right. But I suppose the other way works too.
One of the fun things we can do at the end of this episode is go back and you could prove how right you were.
Okay, that's cool then. I'm fine with that.
Bill is exactly correct. That your safest move is to let me do my thing, because either we get there quickly and hooray, or we get there very slowly and you get to feel superior for the rest of the episode.
All right, Bill, duplicate that tab.
All right.
We'll get there. We'll come back.
We're putting our fingers in the pages of the Choose Your Own Adventure.
That is exactly what it is. That's exactly what I was picturing in my head.
All right. It's in the purple boxes under comics, under comic studies and narratology, under tropes. The third link in talking animals. And boy, oh boy.
All right, let's go.
A modestly sized page.
Oh, no, it's talking animals in fiction specifically.
Mm-hmm. But there is a link to talking animal at the bottom.
Oh, geez.
Hey, there's a link to comic books. We can always go back.
Hey.
Can I just say, I just want to say we have, again, I'm using my phone, so I've got a bit of a different thing going on at the bottom. But this, I was really struggling to find where this was. And I opened up the See Also page. Mm-hmm. And under See Also, it specifically has vampire comics, werewolf comics, zombie comics.
So wait, is that on the horror page? Is that on the horror comics page?
No, I think that was back on the normal comics page.
Oh, so no, you're right. I must have accidentally clicked on that.
You accidentally went to horror.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I looked at the See Also on the other one, and I did not see those.
Hey, I will say.
You're right. I
naysayers.
Didn't mean to click on it.
Naysayers and cheaters, I have an update for you all.
That's me.
Yes,
While you were off gallivanting around unofficial pages that are not part of the official path that we are taking.
No, you're right.
I was looking at the purple boxes on the talking animals in fiction pages, and would you like to know what I found there?
I
found a section called Creatures, and it has links to mummies and vampires and zombies and werewolves and all sorts of creepy, crawly things that might have cereals named after them.
Wow.
I'd like to add a new rule for your show moving forward. These purple boxes are too powerful.
Oh, it's funny you bring that up.
I don't have these on my phone. No wonder I clicked the wrong thing.
So it's funny because in our live episode, I neglected to bring my computer in a show that is about clicking through Wikipedia pages, and so I had to use my phone. Probably. If you request the desktop version, it'll give you what we're saying and not the altered version, because the phone version does not give the purple boxes at the bottom. Yep. So back to your comment, Bill. A couple of seasons ago, Matt, out of thin air, just invented that rule that we can't use the purple boxes anymore. And
I'm saying, you're clicking on, you're reading the article. Who needs it? There's a giant list of anything vaguely that kind of feels like it's connected at the bottom of the page.
Yes.
You're a powerful purple box.
You're right.
We enacted that rule for about a season and a half, and then we had a bet, and I won, and they've been reinstituted. And I will say, the most violent and degrading fan letters we got were from that season and a half where we excluded the purple boxes. There were people who were living. It's like when the Beatles said they were bigger than Christ. People were burning our podcasts in the streets.
It was just like that.
Well, they wanted the purple boxes back?
Yeah.
Yes. The people demanded it.
No one sent us a single letter.
Just me.
Just to be clear.
Of any kind. We're not sure we have any listeners.
Feel like
oh my God,
cheating. They feel like cheating.
You just got to look around, and it's just like, I don't know, anything vaguely
cheating.
related.
I'm going to put down my phone. I tried to scroll, and I accidentally clicked on the Canterbury Tales.
Nice.
Just stop.
Yeah, play with me.
That's good.
I don't think I want to go to the Canterbury Tales. Also, didn't know there were talking animals in the Canterbury Tales.
I think we needed that at one point. Didn't we go to Canterbury Tales at some point, Jethro? I think.
Yeah, when our destination was the Decameron.
Yes.
Because that was one of our early suggestions, because it was still the pandemic times. So some coy wag was like, I know, I'll pick a piece of literature that's associated with the plague.
And oddly enough, I believe we went from the Decameron to Monster Cereals, or vice versa.
Certainly possible. All right, we've got here forbidden fruit, because obviously for those Bible fans out there, a snake talked Eve into eating the forbidden fruit. Also, something you put in cereal. Forbidden fruits.
Well, wait, why aren't we going to go to vampires or zombies or mummies?
I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out options. It seemed like
Caveman
was
is on here. We can go to Caveman if we wanted to.
There we go. Finally we get to Caveman.
I think at a stretch, vampires might take you straight to Count Chocula.
I think vampires will take you straight to the.
But it would be nice to not use the purple boxes, at least at first.
Oh, I see. Well,
it is.
The other thing I want to point out is that horror as a subgenre is on here as well, like just horror. So there is the possibility of that too. But anyway,
we also have a link to Bambi,
boxes, so.
which could get us to Godzilla.
Bambi,
which could get us to monsters.
That is a possibility. That's a long road that you've got in front of you right there. But it is now the Lion King is on here, and I'll tell you there was definitely a Lion King cereal also.
Was there?
Get into cereals? Oh yes.
Not famous though, and also it feels like
it was the Timon and Pumbaa cereal, and it was like you were eating grubs. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, fun fact. Did you know that in Wizard of Oz, when Toto goes to Oz, he can talk?
Oh, really?
In the original.
Only mentioned the later ones, but yeah.
Yeah, because all animals can talk in Oz. In fact, if you watch Return to Oz, starring Fairuza Balk, she brings her chicken with her, and her chicken starts talking to her. Because Toto gets left behind in that one.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think? What do you want to do here? What are we thinking?
All right. Okay. If we're using the purple box, clearly we're clicking vampire.
Well,
if we're using a system of honor and integrity.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay.
I love a strong take.
There's probably a Pokemon cereal, right? I see a link to Pokemon down the bottom.
There is probably a Pokemon
sure there
cereal.
Is. Probably a Sailor Moon cereal too.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Aslan.
I can't help but notice we've got Bambi on here.
Right. That's it was mentioned earlier. We could just get to Godzilla through there if you want to. But I mean, I don't know.
Totally unnecessary at this point.
I would think, yeah. But yeah, these are all possibilities. So shapeshifted is on here, of course. Animation, cartooning, illustration. Illustration might get us into advertising again, like we thought the other one would, and it didn't.
I know it was a joke throwout, but I don't hate forbidden fruit.
to get into food.
Because forbidden fruit would be like, here are the suggestions for what the fruit might have been, and then it'll be like Frankenberries, and you can click that.
Oh man,
that is a
stretch.
I don't feel like that's going to be forward. Like
we take Judeo-Christian, we go to Christmas, we go to frankincense, we go not to be confused with.
I feel like I should
Frankenberry.
I feel like I should mention one of the other unwritten rules of the podcast is our contract with the listener is we are obliged to take the quickest path that we can
possible
and not the most meandering.
I had a real pitch, which is a weird pitch, but it's a real one.
Okay.
In the animals and religious text section, there is a link to the hoopoe, which is a native African bird. What if we ended up going hoopoe to toucan to Fruit Loops?
Is it toucan an African bird?
I don't know.
No.
Where is a toucan from?
Aren't they famously
knows.
tropical?
Yeah.
Like South America?
Oh, and you're saying there's no tropics in Africa.
No,
look at you. There's 54 countries in that place. It's a big.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone was toucans.
Guinea's right there.
Yeah.
Not quite on the equator.
I would like to apologize to the tropical nations of Africa for not acknowledging. I mean, there goes our listeners in Chad.
Yeah. Well, they weren't going to listen that much longer anyway.
It's true.
These are all possibilities. I don't know. I don't know which one I like the best or worst out of any of these.
All right,
Ghosts. Okay, Ghosts is linked in the main article. I would argue that we go to Ghosts.
Because it's main article stuff. And therefore not sullied with the taint of the purple boxes.
The beauty of main article, it's wonderful. Can't be beaten.
All right, let me... So I will entertain Ghosts, but I do want to throw out another wild curveball. Under Wilderness Coming of Age Stories, there is a link to Feral Child. And I feel like most children left unsculpted by the civilizing influence adults would just eat sugar cereals all day long.
You're not wrong. But is that going to be linked on that page? Probably not.
There's who's to say?
I'm
all right.
The one that's saying right now.
If you like Ghosts because it's in the main article and not the sinful, cheap, and tawdry purple boxes.
Do we know any characters, like any fictional characters who eat cereal a lot? I know Jerry Seinfeld does.
Sorry, right next to Ghosts, we have shape-shifting.
Yeah.
Doesn't that get us straight to Dracula?
That could definitely get us to Dracula.
A famous example of shape-shifting in
I also noticed we have Dead Man as a link as well. I did see Dead. Get us to
I did see Dead Man. It turned out when I moused over it, it takes you to Grateful Dead, which is a motif and a group of related folktales present in many cultures throughout the world. So I think Dead Man is... That's why I didn't want to... Because at first I was going to suggest Dead Man, and then I moused over it. Shape-shifting or shape-shifting...
It links to shape-shifting, a thing that Dracula does all the time.
That would definitely get us.
When he's bored,
shocked if it
when he needs to get to the kitchen and he can't be bothered getting up, he turns into a bat and he goes.
That is a wildly untenable. It'd be like toothbrushing. You know what? Vampires have those sharp teeth. They got to brush them, so they're probably listed. That's something they do.
Turning into bats is a fundamental touchstone of Western culture.
Hey,
I think he's right.
What do you think
right, Jethro?
Dracula does more, turning into a bat or brushing his teeth? He's
Dracula
always
turn into a bat. Turn to a bat for sure.
Clearly,
never
you've never read Dracula. There's a whole chapter where Bram Stoker talks about how
he drinks blood. He's got to brush his teeth all the time.
He says, and then Dracula came and he said, "I've never brushed my teeth."
Listen, they don't talk about Dracula breathing, but he does that too. That's my point. Is it's so common they don't even have to mention it in the books.
I wouldn't take that as a given.
You're using.
Dracula does breathe.
Listen, we don't have a link to toothbrushing.
Dracula's
anyway.
always dressed very well.
Oh, my
he's in
Lord.
his cape. He's got his count necklace and whatnot. He's a put together guy. He's stylish. Of course, he's got good oral hygiene.
We've gone completely off the
Dracula
rails.
turns into bats.
Listen. Here's the only reason I put Ghost ahead of Shapeshifting is because I think Ghost is going to be a larger page with more possible outs. I think that both are possible, but that's why I would argue for Ghost over Shapeshifting.
I'm happy to go Ghost. Like Danny Phantom, I am happy to go Ghost.
I am less happy to go Ghosts because I'm concerned that it will be so big that everything will have to lead to other pages and they won't have put everything that they can here. We're all intending to go through Ghosts.
Just into horror stuff.
We're guaranteed to do that through Shapeshifting anyway. So Shapeshifting, Dracula, other famous vampires, Count Chocula, Monster Cereal. So that's like 5 links.
All right, then let's go to Shapeshifting.
I love that you immediately came on side.
I mean,
that's
just like shapeshifting. That's the dumbest idea in the world. So we're gonna go shapeshifting.
Was that your argument, Jethro, that you were in favor of it now?
No. My argument was exactly the opposite, but thanks for listening.
Oh, no, I didn't understand because it made it sound like you were saying here's the definite path that we have through it. So you're arguing that Ghost might be better because it could be shorter.
Like, our goal isn't to get to Dracula. Our goal is to get to monster serials. Mm-hmm. So I think that shape-shifting may be linked to vampire, maybe linked to Dracula, maybe linked to... I just think there's a lot of links there, whereas with Ghosts... We at least know that Boo Berry is, in fact, one of, if not the most famous ghosts.
Okay, not going to go that far.
Now, but I'm happy to defer to our guests because now I can play the I think I'm right.
I had forgotten there was a ghost option for the cereals.
Thank you.
I don't have the Boo Berry puts me. I'm now happy either.
But that's not a specific thing. That's much less likely to be on the Ghosts page, cereals named after ghosts, as opposed to the one famous vampire.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you go to the purple boxes, there probably are a thing for cereals named after ghosts.
There might be. All right, I am going to say Ghosts. I'd like a vote. Yay or nay on Ghosts?
I'm going to let our guests vote first.
Okay.
I hate it.
Oh, Danny hates.
Shape-shifting all the
Sounds
way.
like a nay. Sounds like a nay.
I'm abstaining.
You can't abstain. There's only 4 of us. You have to vote.
All right.
Yeah, you have to make it even.
I'm saying shape-shifting.
You know what? Okay. I'll go along. Shape-shifting it is. Let's
all right,
do it.
We're going to shape-shifting, everybody.
Oh, look. A link to monster cereals right at the top.
Knew it.
Monster cereals famously shapeshift.
It's got vampires right away.
Werewolves and vampires.
Now we just have to see if they've got specific vampires.
I wonder if we can get to Dracula even before we get to...
I don't want to click on vampires.
Hold on. I think vampires is going to be a better path to Count Chocula than Dracula is.
Not a terrible thought.
That is also true.
I don't think that Dracula is going to necessarily get us into that, whereas vampire, I think, may. So I will put that out there.
That's not a terrible thought.
I totally agree with that thinking.
There's a lot of,
and again, because Dracula had great oral hygiene, as is canon, didn't eat a lot of sugary cereals.
Right. That's the reason. That is the reason I argued it, for sure.
I have one different pitch.
Okay.
Way down in themes, there's a link to the Earthsea books. Now, that won't help us get where we're going, but they're a good series of books, and I thought it'd be a fun diversion.
That's good to know.
We can talk about Ged. We can talk about the Wizards College on Roke. It'll be great fun.
Yeah. It would be fun if we weren't already an hour into the walk. So we do need to continue moving forward. But we'll come back to that on we'll do a Down the Rabbit Hole, which we've only done one episode of in our 15 seasons or 11 seasons, and we'll go down the rabbit hole to the Earthsea series.
All right.
Amazon River Dolphin is on here as well, which is another rabbit hole I wouldn't mind exploring, because I think that those are awesome. Has anyone seen anything better than Vampire at this point?
I mean, I feel like that's a strong candidate.
Yeah.
I think Vampire is the strong.
I think it might be our best bet. I can't believe I'm not seeing a specific Dracula reference, but
I don't even want to open the purple boxes for fear of seeing something I'd really like and then getting yelled at.
Oh, I'll do it.
I'm sure that you will.
Purple boxes go straight to different shape-shifting cereal mascots.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
List of shape-shifting cereals. Things to eat with milk. Okay.
There's Harry Potter. There's Mortal Kombat. X-Files is on here. Doctor Who. Quite a bit of Doctor Who. Star Trek. Hold on.
Oh boy.
We've got Star Trek links. Oh, we've got Transformers links. Oh, I love it.
More than meets the eye.
Star Wars, Star Trek. Holy cow! Fringe is on here. Encanto. We got Animorphs. Come on.
we could talk about Animorphs.
Let's get into
All
it.
right. I feel like vampires is the way to go. I feel like we all know that, and we're
I
just
think so.
dilly-dallying around.
Well, then let's do it. Let's just go to vampires.
It is the second to last link in the first paragraph. And there it is. The picture right there is a vampire brushing his teeth. That is.
Is that what that is? Is that what that is in that picture?
Oh yeah, he's all exhausted from brushing his teeth. So his girlfriend comes over and is like, "Hey, are you okay? Boy, your teeth are so white."
Too busy brushing your teeth. I'm jumping straight to the in modern culture section.
Yep, me too.
To see if there's
All right.
anything down
There's
there.
a link to tuberculosis and syphilis.
There we go. Can
Well,
diabetes be far behind?
That's going to get us in there for sure. Film and television stuff.
Come on.
Not seeing
I
a whole
still
lot.
think Dracula is the in to Count Chocula.
Well, I mean, certainly there.
Plenty
Yeah,
of
certainly
that
there are
now.
links to Dracula off of this page. So
There is a link not just to Dracula, but also to the 1931 Universal Dracula.
that's a good.
Where
That's
that could be
probably the
better or
best.
worse.
Yeah, that's probably the best path, I would guess.
There's a link to Blackula.
So there is a link to list of vampires just under the in modern culture, which I know it will be poo-pooed by many as a possibility.
That's fine. You know, I'm okay to go for a list of vampires, because at least it's sitting here in the
main article.
in the text.
Yeah, I don't love lists, but if we all felt
They're pretty
know,
listy.
They are.
if we felt that was the way to go, I am looking in the purple box.
Speaking of rabbit holes, there's a lesbian vampire article that I will be
big
coming.
deal.
I'll be coming back to later.
There's a lot of lesbian vampire origins.
All right. So what are we saying then? Dracula or list of vampires?
Currently just skimming the etymology section just in case they mention Dracula / Chocula.
I will
Right,
say
right.
there is more integrity and self-respect in Dracula than there is in a list of vampires.
I would agree with that.
But there's far more efficacy in a list of vampires.
All right, so I would
There's
let
a link to
me
Blackula on
make
here.
a slightly amended pitch. Bill, I think you make an honorable case. Under the film and television link, there is a link for Dracula is a major character, but when you look at the URL that pops up as the preview, it actually links to Count Dracula in popular culture,
Oh wow.
which I would suggest
Tempting.
is an even stronger
that's
article
good.
choice for us to go to
I
rather than
love
Dracula.
it. I think
generically.
I think better than the movie Dracula, better than the character Dracula. The concept of Count Dracula in pop culture, I think, is pretty good.
Okay, but how about buttocks?
Ooh,
We
buttocks
have a
is
link
also
to
pretty
buttocks.
fun. You know, that's what you
It is
sit
a
on when
possi-
you're eating cereal.
Ability, you do, unless you're standing, which who is. No, I like that. I would agree with that in popular culture reference. Sounds
I
good to
I
me.
think it's a
love
good
it.
call.
I think we're all on board.
All right,
do it.
finally,
No,
we have
no passive aggressive secondary tabs need to be opened.
I apologize if any of my aggressiveness was passive. It was intended to be full bore.
All right, so here we are, Count Dracula in popular culture, which is its own. That's the title of this page. I really thought it was going to be some other reduced title, but no, that's it.
I found it.
Aha!
I found in others. I've gone past drama. I've gone past pornography. I've gone past TV appearances, and I've gone all the way down to other, where I see the General Mills cereal mascot, Count Chocula.
There you go.
I know that's not what we're getting quite, but I'm pretty sure that's the link.
Well, if memory serves, Count Chocula does not have a Wikipedia page, and it takes us directly to monster cereals.
I believe that's correct.
It does. We've done it.
We've done it.
Oh,
we did
amazing.
Well spotted.
Oh, there you go. Monster cereals. Amazing. Yummy Mummy redirects here. Yeah.
Ooh, for the slang term, go see.
Yummy Mummy.
Yummy Mummy is a slang
Yummy
term
Mummy.
used to describe an attractive mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe
I've-
MILF
also a
is the
cereal.
more popular
yeah.
term.
had no idea that. Okay, sure.
Can we all quickly take a poll? If you were going to design a cereal and it was going to be called Fruit Brute, and you had the options to either respell fruit to match the spelling of brute, or respell brute to match the spelling of fruit, which would you take?
Neither.
Oh my goodness.
I would have spelled both FROOT BROT.
Yes, you're right. No, that's that's the correct answer.
All right.
But the
That's
problem
all
with
right.
that
Actually,
is,
That's not what they.
but that's
did.
what Fruit Loops does, and so they
Yeah.
wouldn't have allowed that, I believe.
I don't think Fruit Loops has a trademark on the use of the double O for the oo
I
sound.
bet you they do.
I'll bet you on
That
the word
seems
fruit
exactly
they do.
like the kind of thing that Fruit Loops would do.
But are they also a General Mills cereal?
No, they are Kellogg's.
Mm.
All
Feels
right,
like they're
so
all going to be owned by the same company anyway.
we have done it. We have made it from Thagomizer to monster cereals. And Jethro, I know that you're in our spreadsheet, so you can see this. It has taken us 6 links to get from Thagomizer to monster cereals. So, Jethro, are you sticking with your pick? Is Danny your pick?
I'm sticking with Danny.
All right, very good. So why do we want to? How do you want these revealed then, Jethro? You want her to reveal first or second?
Well, I mean, Bill clearly has a drawing that he has to tell us about.
It's not. It's really been overplayed.
It's the orichalcum from Slay the Spire. That's what you've drawn.
I drew a box. I drew a little box and I put a question mark on that
that's
box.
just a box.
Because we should all be asking, what's in the box? Because I picked, you can't see it, there it is, 7.
7. That's a pretty close guess.
That is
Danny,
indeed.
how'd you do?
As for me, mine is much smaller and it's on a page with lots of other writing on it. Well,
Sure.
this is going to be interesting because I picked 5.
Oh, a tie.
Closer.
Oh
It's
my!
it can't be a
Let
tie.
that
Hold on.
happen.
Wait.
A tie. However, a tie means that Matt, since the last 2 episodes were not resolved, you are still the winner of the season because you have 1, 2 more than I. So congratulations, sir.
That's correct. And I'll tell you what, we'll carry it over into the next season. So whoever wins the first one has a possibility of 3 points.
There we go. I love
That's
it.
what I'm saying. This is amazing. I can't believe
Next
5
year,
and 7.
there's going to be a point where you're sitting there be like, all right, there are 82 points on the line. Who's going to get him?
Who can possibly win? No, that was great. That was obviously amazing guesses because you were right around the exact number that we got. And I can't believe it only took us 6. I really thought at one point it was going to take us about 12.
If Count Chocula had his own page, all he needed was his own page, and my 7 would have been correct.
That's true.
Because we'd have gone Chocula cereals. But no, everybody hates the Count.
Yep, that's it. That's the problem. Count Alfred Chocula, as a matter of fact, just in case you're curious about that. Now, Danny, where was the one that you wanted to go to back at our beginning?
Horror
that was
comics.
Horror Comics.
Horror Comics, right? Which out of the sort of forbidden purple boxes, which would have taken us. I mean, we would have found Vampire here right away, right?
Oh no, Horror Comics was not from the purple boxes. It was when I was desperately trying to find my next page. I scrolled right down to the bottom of a page, not realizing that I had accidentally already clicked on Horror Comics. So I was looking at the purple boxes on Horror Comics.
No,
So
Horror
we gotta
Comics
make this
is-
clear, guys. But Horror Comics was totally fine. It was within the normal article.
Oh, okay.
So I will say this.
Comics.
I'm on the Horror Comics page and I'm using Control F, which is forbidden during the regular walk, but permitted during the down the rabbit hole segments. I'm finding the word vampire a lot. Never linked.
Oh, that
That's
stings.
so rude.
That's
What
really
about
weird.
Frankenstein? Because Frankenstein was what I was convinced by.
Okay.
Right. There's got to be a Frankenstein. There's
Well,
gotta be
it would've-
Frankenstein comics, guys.
There is a link to
Frankenstein's
Vampire
monster?
Comics, though, Jethro. So we would have gotten to Vampire Comics from there. So we would have gone to their Vampire Comics and then Vampires.
But vampires all over this article. It's just never linked.
No, I
it's the
understand
dinosaur
that.
situation all over again.
But what I'm saying is it would have wound up being, if we had to do that, go through Vampire Comics to get to Vampire, it would have been the same number of links in the end. And it is weird that Vampire is never linked on here. I agree. It's so strange. But it's also true. So there you go. We have our answer and we have our episode.
Fine, then.
And yeah, I know, right? How unsatisfying that it would have just been the same. Why not a ton longer or a ton shorter in my mind?
Frankenstein's monster is linked directly on the page.
Well, there you go. Then the question becomes
which can get
how
us to
long.
Count Dracula, but that does not get us to Count Chocula on that page.
Sorry,
So-
Dracula's page does not get you to Chocula?
No, it doesn't look like it. It gets. We had to
Okay,
find
wow.
Dracula in popular culture.
That was very good that you managed to sneak that one out.
Yeah, that was a real good link.
Unbelievable. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you both so much for coming back on and being on the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you again for your boost of our listeners. And is there anything you want to say to all of those people who are listening to Drunkard's Walk because they heard us on your show and clearly listen to Escape This Podcast? Any message for them?
I don't know. How you going? How are things? Well, fancy meeting you here.
I expect a lot of emails about the technicalities of actually in this one, in the originals, there is no shapeshifting of Dracula. And here are all the facts about times that he breathes or does not breathe. I just want to get back into a fight. It was fun fighting.
Yeah. I understand
we never
that.
fight on our show. No, thank you so much for having us. It was lovely to come back. It was lovely to do another walk. It's a really enjoyable show to dig around and try and find these links and these connections. So I really enjoy it. And I think there's a reason that people have come over and stuck with the show because it's engaging, it's fun. I think you two do a really great job running the whole thing. And even if you sometimes use the purple boxes like cowards, that's fine, you know.
I appreciate that, and certainly that means a ton of us hear that from you guys. So thank you very much, and hopefully we will have you back again on another episode in another season. Jethro, we're going to take a break for a little while, but what do you think? Season 12?
I think I could be talked into it, but I'm going to go like Dracula, brush my teeth after this, and I think. I could be talked into returning. This has been fun. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you guys for being such wonderful guests, and Matt, thank you as always for doing most of the heavy lifting and being a great fun partner for a fun podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you too. Bye everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No.
Hello? Hi? Hey, you stuck around. Well, that's crazy. Well, welcome to the real end of season 11. I mean, I didn't even, I didn't think anybody would stick around this long. So, how's it going? Did you enjoy the episode? That's pretty great. Listening to those folks from Escape This Podcast, isn't it? Yeah, they're awesome. You should definitely check out their podcast. Go and do that. You can find a link in the show notes. Hey, listen, I want to tell you about something else. So we've had this thing kind of going on during the season where we've been sticking a secret word into our episodes. Yeah. Have you noticed it? Maybe you have. It's not in every episode. It's only in some of them. And it is the word niche. Yeah, that's our secret magic word this season, niche. So if you can get in touch with us. You can do this via TikTok. You can do it on Instagram. You can send us an email, however you want to do this, and tell us how many times either Jethro or I said the word niche during this season, or even any of our guests. We'll include them as well. You will be in. You will have a chance for a cool prize. I'm not going to tell you what the prize is right now. I'm not going to tell you what your chances are because I don't know how many people will submit. But there you go. So a little secret quest for you to try to figure out how many times did we use the word niche in season 11. Yeah, that's neat, huh? All right. Well, that's it. This is actually the end. So go live the rest of your life and enjoy. And I'm gonna go. I'll probably get a snack. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.